believe I can show you some really exciting stuff today regarding Lumira and Design Studio exports. So let's have a look first at the agenda today. So I will start with a short solution overview. So talk about export in general and also about our company and our solution. Then we will very quickly also come to the live demo where I will show some exports from Lumira as well as from Design Studio. And then the third point will be that I will talk about more complex export scenarios, which we call publishing scenarios. Of course, at the end, we will show you how you can test this solution yourself, how you can get to know it, and of course, we will also have a Q&A session. Of course, as Adrian said before, Daniel will also be there to answer your questions if they are not too technical. So technical questions we will be moved to the end. So yeah, first slide, export still matters. Actually, this sentence is really important to us because a lot of people say we've got the paperless office now, we have online dashboards, so why should we print our reports still? And from our point of view, exporting does not mean printing. So this is, there are a lot of other export scenarios that you could think of. For example, because you cannot be online at that moment when you want to look at the data, or because you are in a kind of a process, a business process, and for this business process you don't want to go online and choose filters and drill down, but you actually want to have the data maybe in your presentation, maybe in a document, and it should be already well prepared. So from our point of view, also in the future, this exporting of data from dashboards will be really important. We put some of these scenarios here on that slide on the left. So I will just name a few of them, but you can see that the range is quite big. So of course the simple export requirement is to store a snapshot of the data in the system. So for example, because you just want to show your colleagues that data was like that yesterday, and you want to make sure that the data doesn't change. Also, of course, management presentations. If you have to show figures to your management, then it would be great to have the data and your database in your PowerPoint presentation. And it could go as far as doing automatic publishing. So you not only export what you're seeing right now, but you want to show different selections, different filters, different views in one document, and it should be generated with one click. So we get more and more complex here. You could now ask why does BI Excellence know of these export scenarios? It's because we founded the company 10 years ago with the idea of exporting data from SAP. It was Web Application Designer, but now we have a lot of or a wide range of other clients that we can export from as well. And what we learned in that time is that there's not the one solution to do exports, but customers and also different departments at one customer have different requirements on such an export. So you need a really flexible and customizable solution, even down to the details. Also, you think of two different ways of doing such an export. So on the left side, you see our solution that we will talk of today. It's actually the idea behind it is that you have already done your dashboards. You have spent a lot of time in creating your database to adapt the colors, to adapt the complete look of the charts, and you just want to give your users a one-click feature to generate a PowerPoint presentation of that. So it should be really easy for the user, and you also want to limit the efforts for you as a developer, because you don't want to print charts twice in different applications. Of course, on the other side, you could also think of doing this this export directly in the Office product. So, for example, you start with a presentation, you create a slide, and you want to show some data from the system there. So you access the system and you integrate the data directly into the presentation, or of course to the Word document. The advantage of this solution is that you have a lot more of flexibility to the end user, and you have the possibility to access also other systems like Google, for example, or Salesforce to deliver them. But of course, as I said, we will focus on this solution via export today, which is actually available for Lumira, for Design Studio, and of course also the good old BW system. You can also use the export functionality to export from the BW system, from Web Application Designer, from your own WebDyn Pro applications, and it's kind of a platform that we provide. So from every application, exports look more or less the same and can be defined in the same way for you as a developer. So before we start now with the online demo, I just want to focus on the key aspects of our solution. First of all, you receive the maximum quality in the export, so you don't get pixels in the charts when you export them to PowerPoint or to PDF, but they are in really good quality. And you also have the possibility to adapt the exports completely to your requirements. Also, it's a full tool set, so you can start with a really straightforward export, but you could also go very complex and create really sophisticated export scenarios as well. We will also see that in the demo. And as I said before, it's not only a solution that has been created for Lumira or for Design Studio, but you have it's ready actually for the future. So if anything changes at SAP, if there's another front end, or for example for Lumira 2.0, which is at the gates now, we don't have to change that much because we have one central platform and we just have to adapt to the front end. So for those who are already quite nervous about getting to know our solution, you can already check the Analytics Extensions directory from SAP, where also our component is listed. So you can search for it. It's the DS Export toolset, or also Lumira toolset, and you can download an evaluation version and try it out yourself. So trying it out, I'm just going to show you the demo from Lumira. Let's start with that one. So you can see here that's one visualization component now that we deliver, this PowerPoint icon, which allows you to trigger the export to PowerPoint. You have to enter it, or you have to add it to your Lumira composition just the way you do it with other visualizations, and then you go to the composition view. And you can see it could look something like that. Probably most of you are able to create much nicer visualizations here than I do, but it's just to show you how our export works. So I'm clicking on the icon, and after a couple of seconds we should see the completely generated document. We provide this for PowerPoint, for Word, for Excel, and also for PDF. Which is sometimes quite handy if you want to export certain custom components which cannot be exported with a standard SAP PDF export. But this is now what you get in returned when you do the PowerPoint export. So in my case, this is a presentation that is created in our company design. And I have two slides here actually, which show the two charts from my data visualization in Lumira. Of course, you could also change this to be displayed just the way it was displayed on the screen. So I say here in the settings, I don't want to see the charts on separate slides, but on one slide, and then we keep actually the layout that you created here in your composition. So I'm doing the export once again. Here we go. I'm just naming it Lumira Export 2. I store it, and then we open it. And you can see that now I just have one slide and actually both visualizations next to each other. So this is a really nice feature to get your visualizations directly into PowerPoint. And of course, the same goes for Word exports. Let me just show you that one. So the same thing, I just click on the Word export icon. The document is generated. And also here you are able to create your own export template. That's how we call these source documents, which we use for the export. And so you can create your company logo there. You can adapt it to the company design. And so the user already gets a document delivered that is already good for presentation. So you can see, again, you have those two charts and you have something like a title slide here. You could enter also a table of contents or whatever. So for the more sophisticated exports, I will switch to Design Studio. For those who are of you who are more into Lumira, this is also quite interesting for you because with Lumira 2.0, as you might know, Lumira and Design Studio move together, and so we will be able to provide you all of these functions that you can already see in Design Studio also for Lumira with Lumira 2.0. So all the publishing scenarios also will be also be available in Lumira 2.0. For those who are familiar with Design Studio, you get here also our visualizations or our components, so to say, here in the as components. And if I drag them into my Design Studio dashboard, I get here a lot of properties that I can set. So this is actually the main change that we will get into Lumira once it's on version 2.0, that we will be able to also provide these settings in Lumira in a nice way to change them, and it will not be a self-created settings window as you saw it before in the PowerPoint pane. You can see that there's really a lot that you can change here. So you can, of course, change the PDF page size. You can change the borders of the PDF page. You can tell our export how the headers and footers should look like, which elements should be visible in the export. And you could even use, which we will see afterwards, you could use a Word document to create a PDF document. So actually it's a function which just does a Word export and then saves this Word document to PDF, but it will be a really nice feature for your users if they see how nice these PDF documents can look like. And of course you have the same possibilities for PowerPoint, Word, Excel, and so on. So a lot of things that you can do here, customize and change according to your needs. So now I will switch to the executed dashboard. I just will show you two different dashboards here, which both contain visualizations of SAP partners. So here you can see the IBCS charts provided by Graphomate. We can export those, and also here you can see visualizations from partner Arceus, who are specialized in creating charts with more possibilities to change settings and so on. We include them here because we just want to show you that we can export everything that's on the screen, and also we have the table here. So I will just start with a simple export, which is actually here. Simple export means we are just more or less taking what's on the screen and we export it. And of course, we don't just do an export, not just a screenshot, but we can already do a lot of changes to the export. For example, you can see that all my icons here are gone, so I just said export, please exclude those. Also, when I zoom in, you can see that it's really in best quality. It's vectorized, so no pixels displayed here. And also the headers and footers can be completely customized. They can be customized using HTML and CSS classes, so you can reuse CSS classes that you already use in your application. And you can completely customize them to show a title in bold, for example, and then you have the export date, the export time. You can also see, this is unfortunately now in German, but of course you could also have it in English. This is the selected filters, which actually display the filters from the drop-down box here. So you could also tell the export which filters you really want to see, because there might be a lot of filters that are not really interesting to the end user, like the variant or some other technical filters. And you could also have your company icon here wherever you like it to have. But now checking out this dashboard, or also the other one that I have here, you can see that I have a really long table here. And of course, you would like to export this table fully, and not only what is currently visible on the screen. That's what I will show you with the PDF export template, and you will see exactly the function that I mentioned before. We are actually doing a Word export, and we deliver the document as a PDF document to the end user. So here it's created, and you can already see that it's much more sophisticated. It's not a one-pager, but we have suddenly a title slide or a title page. We even have a table of contents here, which tells me that general information can be found on page 3 and the detailed data on page 4. And if we go further, I also have here some information that comes from the dashboard, like, okay, I'm looking at region all countries here. I have the chart, and then I come to the detailed sales data, and I see the full table completely split on the different pages. Of course, and this is what I will show with the next export, of course, you could also tell the system to deliver the same document as a Word document, because, for example, you want your users to add some comments or some text before they send the document as a PDF document, maybe to external sources. And you can see that, again, I have the same document with a title page. This time I don't have the table of contents, but of course I'm completely flexible to integrate it with the Word means. And then I have here the table from Design Studio just as a complete table that can be edited, and it really splits again nicely on the different pages. So you can see that this is a really nice feature, really easy to implement, because actually you just have to create a Word document. You have to create some placeholders for us where we have to enter or add the different components and information, and then you're all set to create a Word export. So same thing when you go to the PowerPoint export. Let's have a look at that one here. So we have always, I said, we have a really easy way to do exports, but we have also always the sophisticated way of doing exports. So what you can see now is the easy way, where I just tell the system I have a certain master template, for the export that I want to use always for all my dashboards. And then you can see that I see here the first chart on one slide, then the second slide, and then I see one slide here where I have all the whole table in. Now you could argue, why is that done? No one can read that, but of course if I would zoom in, and this is again the topic data or quality of the pictures, so you can see it's completely readable even if you zoom in. But of course you would like to have it probably differently. If you have such a long table, you would like to have it in a way in the PowerPoint presentation. As I said, this is the generic export, so the simple export, where I just the export which components I want to see in my export file. So actually this is these four components that I wanted to add. Of course, if you spend some more time with the implementation, you could also create something like this here, where I can click on the export, and then I can actually choose which charts I want to export. Let's take those two and also the table. And now this is an export where I put in some more effort, and I did a special export setting, and that's why I will now receive the full table really nicely split across different pages. And this could be really interesting if you have management presentations, for example, that you have to do every month, and that shall be really nicely layouted already with just one click. And here you can see that we now split the table on different slides. Even again, as in Word, it's editable. We take over all the styles, so if you have some exceptions also defined, they will also show up here. And then we have this last slide where we have, in that case, two charts next to each other, which is really nice to show if they belong to each other, better than just to have everything on a separate slide. The very last example that I have here for you is the Excel export. Sometimes Excel is not that that interesting, because you might say, okay, we've got already analysis for Office for that, but of course you have a lot of different users with your dashboards, with Lumira, with Design Studio, and of course they also would like to have a function to bring the data into Excel to do some calculations maybe, or to look at long tables, and they probably don't know at all analysis for Office. And that's what this Excel export is for. And you will see that also there we have some really nice features already built in. So I'm taking the table and I put it here on the Excel worksheet. You can see that the hierarchy is actually transformed here into an Excel grouping. You can also see that we again keep the coloring. So here we also have an example with the exceptions. And what's also a really nice feature is that we already see what is the table header and the row header. So you can see that this is fixed. So even if you have a really long table, this is really nice for the user because you can really start with analyzing the data quite fast. Okay, so this was the online demo. Of course, there could be a lot of different scenarios that I could show, but I hope you just an idea how different requirements, different scenarios could be built up with a solution. And now I would move to the more complex scenarios. So actually what we saw so far was more or less, I had something on my screen and I created a document out of the things that I saw on the screen, and I got it delivered right away. Now we call publishing scenarios is where you show different data than I show on the screen. Maybe you have more views, more data that you want to collect, and probably you want to deliver it not online to the user, but to a role in the CMS, in the portal, or you want to provide it via email. So first thing that might be really interesting in the everyday work is you don't just export what you are seeing currently, but you pin different views that you want to see in your export in the end. Possible scenario could be you want to document your analysis process, or you get a request from your manager wants to see different selections, maybe different regions or different profit centers in a presentation or in a document, and you could now move through your dashboard, choose different profit centers or regions from the drop-down boxes, pin the different views, and then generate one document which includes all the views that you pinned before. Of course, you could also make this an automatic process, which is really interesting if you have these requests quite frequently, like, okay, I want to have a document with all my profit centers in an overview and in the detail view. And then we can actually, when you start the export, call the business object server, get the dashboard for the different filters or different contexts that you are requesting, and then we automatically generate a document with those views or selections that you provided. This is a really nice and powerful feature that allows you to create also really big briefing books. We have customers who create PowerPoint presentations with up to 80 slides out of that, because they collect different charts from different applications and so on. And of course, which is really interesting, if you have also running exports, is that you don't deliver the document online, but you deliver it via email, you deliver it to the portal, to a file server, and so on. So the user doesn't have to wait for the document. Okay, so this was already my my presentation. So now we would like to round the topic up by showing you some customer voices, showing you how to evaluate, and finally also the Q&A session. So first of all, this solution is already in use by a lot of big companies. So as I said before, this is not a really new solution, but it's already it has been created already 10 years ago. So we already had it in place with Application Designer, and we have, for example, Coca-Cola and TÜV Süd in Germany as customers, as well as big airlines, the German Armed Forces, Swiss Armed Forces. So you can also think of they have really high security requirements, and we can also meet those. If you want to evaluate, of course, you can use the SAP Analytics Extensions directory. But of course, you can also get into contact to us, to Daniel, and he will be happy to help you out with how to plan your evaluation.